Kings and Queens, what's up? It's your boy King J, and we back with another reaction video, and I'm so disappointed. Look, so I just did a WWE reaction like 30 minutes ago, 30 minutes to an hour ago, and I hop on and try to edit it. Lo and behold, it didn't record my microphone audio. So we're gonna try this again, but with a different video. So we're gonna be watching What Culture's Top 10 Leaks WWE Never Wanted You to See. Now, Now I've been watching What Culture for a few years now, specifically the Simon Miller's ups and downs and the news that they do every morning. So I'm very familiar. I'm very familiar with these people. So I decided, why not react to them? Like, I watch them on a daily, so why not go ahead and react to them? So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do this. Hopefully my audio records this time. I think it is. If it don't, I'm sorry. But yeah, original link to the original video will be in the description down below, as well as What Culture's channel link. So you'll have that down there. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that. I mean, shoot, if you don't like the video, hit the thumbs down. If you don't like it, if it's not your cup of tea, that's okay. I understand. I completely understand. Just go ahead and hit that thumbs down. Comment down below what you want to see me react to next. Comment and tell me your favorite WWE wrestler. Mine is AJ Styles. You know, the phenomenal one. Won championships in every single promotion, every single major promotion, all of them that he's been in, you know. He's the leader of the Bullet Club at one point, just like Finn Balor. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get into this. I got my pizza, you know. I got my little crystal light, you know. So yeah, without further ado, we'll get into it. Let's get it.
Company wants to experience leaks. Of course they don't. The reason they do keep things under lock and key is because they need to have some secrets, and yet no matter who you are in the day and age of the internet, somehow they always get out. This case is true too when it comes to World Wrestling Entertainment, because over the years, many documents or information has actually found its way to the fans, and we read it and it kind of feels like we're doing something wrong. Our eyes were never meant to see this. Because that's good for me, Simon Miller, and it's good for us here at What Culture Wrestling, because we can make a video about it, just in case you're one of these people that had no clue this stuff was out there. So this is 10 shocking leaks WWE never wanted you to see. Number 10, Vince McMahon's strict guidelines for commentators. Back in 2015, and this one is still nuts, a document was uploaded to Reddit which seemingly had all the details about what Vince McMahon tells his commentators about what they can say and what they can't say, and what he would prefer they didn't say. We also found out that all these murmurings that he may be a little bit too hands-on were true, which is what caused Mick Foley back in 2008, after 4 months of doing color commentary, to go, you know what, I don't enjoy having a man shout in my ear, I'm gonna go home. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these were very sensible, like don't swear and don't use cliches. But there was also ones like Vince McMahon doesn't like the phrase granddaddy of them all when it comes to WrestleMania because it makes Mania sound old, so stop doing that one. And also that announcers should stop reading the dirt sheets. What? We also learned that words like pro wrestling belt, fans, and factions weren't allowed to be used. And I'll never get over the fans one because, of course, we have to call them the WWE Universe. It doesn't make any sense, because there's no such thing. Number 9, the original WrestleMania 30 card.
Now I do want to say this. For WWE to be doing things like that, like we can't call a championship the belt, or we have to call it a title or something like that. There's a lot that WWE makes you not do. That's one of the downsides about it. Like, to me, there are things that separates AEW from WWE for the good, and these are just one of those things, you know? But it is what it is. You can't really help it.
CM Punk, being the voice of the voiceless, is always a good wrestler to go to when you want to learn the truth. And he did this on his Instagram account back in 2020, when for some reason, he basically uploaded what would have been the WrestleMania 30 card. And it did confirm that yes, CM Punk was scheduled to take on Triple H at WrestleMania 30, which kind of tied into him leaving the company, but that also Daniel Bryan, who of course would go on to win both championships on that night, would have been taking on Sheamus, because during that time, I don't understand why, but WWE was just obsessed with Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. We're also going to have a Battle of the Giants as Big Show took on Kane, and also somebody had said, hey, we can do a US title match between Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, which would have meant breaking up the Shield. I mean, what a world that would have been. Number 8, the SummerSlam 1991 payroll sheet.
Couldn't even imagine.
Trying to find out what a wrestler has been paid is really difficult because of course it should be. I shouldn't be able to go on the internet and find out what some kind of banker is earning, so why should it be any different in the world of sports entertainment? However, back in 1991, there was a very public falling out between Vince McMahon and the Ultimate Warrior because the Ultimate Warrior wanted to be paid the same as Hulk Hogan, and because of that, every single detail was leaked out there into the wild. The best part of this is when we learned what Miss Elizabeth had made for the event, because she made $50,000 for the match made in heaven as she married the Macho Man Randy Savage, which was more than The Undertaker, which was more than Mr. Perfect, and yes, was more than Bret the Hitman Hart. We also found out the Ultimate Warrior did get his way, because he was paid $75,000, which was the same as Hogan, but Vince McMahon, being Vince McMahon, ensured that Hogan got a bonus that night, so he actually got 15 grand more. There was more too, because Jimmy Superfly Snuka and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who didn't even appear on the show, somehow earned more than Coco Beware and Kato, even though those latter two got on the pre-show. So I guess that kind of proves that the hierarchy in wrestling is a very real thing. Number 7, Michael Cole's leaked audio. Commentating is a really hard job, especially in the world of wrestling, and I don't think some people give the announcers their due, especially someone like Michael Cole. He has so much he has to deal with every single week, and he does it like a pro. He doesn't have to be your favorite, but he deserves more of a round of applause. And this was kind of proven too in May 2014, where some leaked audio did get out there, and it just went to show how produced these people are. The audio itself came from the satellite feed, and when somebody had stumbled across it, it got uploaded to YouTube instantly, and it was basically Michael Cole talking to Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon and saying, "How many times do you want me to say this? Because I'll be honest with you, I have said it a load of times already." There was then a moment of silence as I think McMahon started to lay into Cole, because straight away he then goes, "Oh, yes, you're the boss, sir, you're the boss. I'll do whatever you want." So there's another valuable lesson learned.
I remember this coming out.
WWE commentary.
I heard it.
Whatever they say in your ear, just say it, even if it seems like it's going to be controversial. Otherwise, you're probably going to have your ass kicked. Number 6, the Ultimate Warrior and Vince McMahon's letters. This goes back into their 1991 falling out as well. And because it was the early 90s, nobody was sending emails, we were sending letters. And flub me, when these got out there, no wonder the Ultimate Warrior and Vince McMahon didn't really get on. And once again, it all started when the Warrior threatened to no-show SummerSlam 1991 because he wanted more money and he wanted more royalties and he wanted more this and that. Whereas Vince McMahon was like, "No, I'm not going to give it to you." So the flame was lit. The real-life Jim Hellwig, though, did write all his demands down in a letter and sent them to WWE HQ, and Vince McMahon then responded essentially saying, "Look, I will give in to all your demands, but I basically think you're a crazy person and you are over-worrying about your compensation." This was all basically a ruse, though, because as soon as the pay-per-view was done, Vince McMahon suspended the Ultimate Warrior and sent him another letter that said, and I'm paraphrasing here, "All this fame has got to your head, you don't know what you're talking about, so maybe you need to go and get a clue." He also said that Warrior had become impossible to work with, had forgotten the obligation to the fans, and that within his own mind, he had become a legend. Imagine getting that from your boss. He finished it by saying that you breached your WWE contract and that's why you're out the door, and think how many years it would be until they properly made up. This one did not go away easy. Number 5, the accidental leak after the Great American Bash 2004. The ending of the Great American Bash 2004 is still baffling, even though it happened 17 years ago, because The Undertaker essentially murders his longtime manager, Paul Bearer. But after the Dead Man had defeated the Dudley Boys in a handicapped coffin crypt match, whatever the hell it was called, where if he had have lost, Paul Bearer would have been buried in a bunch of stand, The Undertaker still walked up to this structure, he still pulled the lever, and he still killed his friend. Now, the stunt itself was actually filmed earlier the day in a pre-tape, and then when we were live with the pay-per-view, a stunt double was put in his place. But for some people, when the pay-per-view went off air, all of a sudden, they saw Paul Bearer, and they saw Mark Calloway practicing all of this, because clearly somebody had pushed the wrong button. This was doubly problematic for the WWE because this was the Phenom we were talking about, who was never seen out of character, So you can just imagine the reaction for this. It was like Christmas came early, although even then I didn't get to see it. I still would have been going, why did he kill Paul Bearer? To this day, nobody has ever explained. Number 4, Raw script leaks. A lot of fans complain that WWE is over-scripted, so in 2014, when the literal script for Raw was leaked, well, it kind of proved all their fears correct. Because yes, not only did it show how over-detailed some of the promos were that we were giving to wrestlers, but we also learned, and maybe you knew this beforehand, I didn't, that WWE gives names to all of its Raw shows. I mean, this one was called The Evolution of Justice, and if you go on the WWE Network, you can actually see all of these now. But also, given it was 2014, in the miscellaneous section was the name CM Punk, because nobody in the company actually knew what the hell was going on. If you've never seen it though, make sure you do check it out because it is an absolutely fascinating read, especially when it comes to Bray Wyatt's promo. That thing is basically written out word for word, and then Bray then just went out there and did it. We need to give wrestlers more credit. Number 3, the live event rules. We moved to 2016 for this one, where yet again somebody went, hey look, I've got a sheet talking about how WWE handles themselves when it comes to live events, so not TV shows. I'm gonna put it online. The document itself belonged to Jamie Noble, although he wasn't responsible for this, and it was focusing on a house show in New York, and we learned things like referees shouldn't be involved in finishes because it will lose their credibility. You're not allowed to do pile drivers. If you're gonna cut any type of promo, Michael Hayes has to sign it off first. Bad guy wrestlers need to seek approval if they're going to be cowards. And there was also a bunch of tidbits and bullet points about what to do if someone legitimately gets hurt. They also did not want every single performer to have their entrance and go up in the ropes and shove their hands in the air. And also, no one's allowed to do the yeah boo spot other than John Cena. You remember that. Somebody hits someone and the crowd go yeah, and somebody hits someone else and they go boo. That is Cena's stuff. It kind of showed you too why many wrestlers don't take too many risks in the modern day. I mean, honestly, this was like being at school. Number 2, the SmackDown wrestlers stopped wrestling. In March 2020, much like the real world, the wrestling landscape stood still because as the pandemic just savaged planet Earth, everything we knew true about sports entertainment came to an end, or namely there were no fans, and WWE had to go do all their shows from basically a warehouse. So much interesting stuff came out of this though, especially when on SmackDown, Bayley and Sasha Banks were having a tag team contest against Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. Because while in most parts of the world when we cut to a break, we cut to a break, it didn't happen everywhere. So some fans were treated to all of these 4 people being told, hey, we've cut to commercial, why don't you have a break? So everybody stopped. And look, this makes perfect sense. It was being held at the Performance Center. There was no one in the crowd. Why risk the chance of hurting yourself if there's no need? However, because this did get out there, an email then went round the company and said, look, during the commercial breaks, please can you keep fighting? And I can only assume that afterwards everybody just went and applied a chinlock. Number 1, the curtain call. You will never truly be able to appreciate this unless you were watching wrestling in 1996 because the landscape was just so different. I mean, today when you tell someone, they're like, well, that doesn't sound that like big of a deal. But in the mid-90s, it blew people's brains. Because the Click, as they were known, embracing after a Madison Square Garden house show, was essentially taking all the magic and revealing every single one of its secrets because Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Razor Ramon and Kevin Nash hugged in the middle of the ring, even though they were meant to be enemies. It was all done because Big Kev and Scott Hall were about to go to WCW, and they've always maintained they got this signed off by the office, but there was such a backlash from every other wrestler in the locker room, Vince McMahon went, whoops, I've made a mistake, I've got to go punish some people. The problem was he couldn't punish Kevin Nash or Scott Hall because again, they were leaving the company. Shawn Michaels was his champion, so he needed him. So all of the blame got put onto Triple H's shoulders. And within the next few months, he was like in hog pen matches, having his face essentially pushed into pig poop. It is kind of funny though, because if you did that in 2021, it wouldn't even make a headline. But that's how much things have changed. So who the hell knows where we're going to be in another 20 years' time. Know of any other leaks that WWE never wanted to get out there? Make sure you leave a comment below and let us know, and then like the video, share the video, and please do subscribe. Then head over to whatculture.com where you...
Hey, yeah, you heard him. So go ahead, hit that thumbs up. If you don't like the video, hit the thumbs down. Go subscribe to my channel. Go subscribe to What Culture's channel. Hit that notification bell on both of our videos. Comment what you want to see me react to next down below. Comment your favorite video from What Culture. Comment your favorite person from What Culture. Do all that jazz. And you know what? While you at it, I don't know, just have a good day, I guess. Anyways, that was it for this one. Like I said before, the link to the original video will be in the description down below, and so will the link to What Culture's channel. And I see you guys on the next one. Peace.